Hey, welcome back to the channel.
Good morning, nice and early. We're getting prepared to start our new expedition, I guess.
It's freezing, there's been so much ice, we're just defrosting Bowser now. We're about to head off. Yesterday we came in kind of late, I guess.
Yeah.
We had a nice little walk around, jumped up on the roof and we cleaned the solar panels. Got a little delivery. Thank you, my dear. Okay, so Ange just used our auxiliary tank and our auxiliary pump to fill our bucket full of a bit of water. And I'm going to use our squidgy, which we carry everywhere, to clean our solar panels. All right. Squeaky clean, so that'll maximize our solar yield. Because it's winter here, so we're not getting full bore summer style sun. So it's good to maximize it. And we removed the covers off of our windows that stop all the scratches from the trees.
I've got a few scratches on them, but barely nothing. They've worked brilliantly. Really happy with those.
Much better than scratches on our windows.
That's for sure. Now we've got big regrets that we didn't use them on that first track that we did in the Flinders. But
yep, that'll teach us.
You live and learn. One.
Awesome.
That was a little bit of maintenance, a little bit of cleaning. Now we're all ready to go. We're gonna get some fuel and we're gonna hit the road again.
Heading into the Gammon Ranges.
Alright, we just arrived to Mount Chambers Gorge, around 100 kilometers something from our last location.
Yeah, we barreled down an old gravel road, which was really well maintained actually. Every single remote road in South Australia seems to be really well maintained, so thank you to South Australia Roads.
No corrugation, like we're comparing with WA, and that's really good.
Much
so
better, yeah, much better.
We could make some decent kilometers today without, you know, really being terrorized by corrugation, which was good. Now we're having a little decaf coffee, a little snack, and we saw a sign that there was some Aboriginal rock art not too far away, so we'll probably go for a little walk after to check that out because we haven't seen any in the area, so that would be quite nice. Alright, so we just arrived at the rock art, trying to spot all the petroglyphs. It's quite hard actually to spot them because they look quite primitive and old. We don't know exactly. There was a sign at the entrance giving a bit of indication of what they could be, but
yeah, they're more like concentric circles or like engraved feet of birds, so they're really primitive. There's no like human figures or anything or faces. They're quite hard to see.
Yeah, a little bit different than the last time we saw some. That was in a Kimberley 2 years ago, which we could really spot. They were more like face and actual animals. So yeah, really different. But I guess it's a completely different area as well in that respect. So
yeah, different communities.
Beautiful area, but very quiet. It's nice to have it all to ourselves. Not too sure if the GoPro is going to do it justice, so that's why Chris is taking some photo a bit closer. But this wall is full of them. All the engravements and paintings. That is crazy. What do you think?
Awesome. So much. We were looking all on these little rocks for stuff. We were finding the occasional one, but this is covered. The mega wall.
Crazy. Oh, and over there as well.
Yeah, tons. So we just got back from our little walk to see the petroglyphs. Were amazing. As you can see, it is properly overcast now. Now, before when we had 400 amp hours of capacity, if that had lasted for 2 or 3 days with overcast weather, we would have been very concerned about running out of energy to power everything. But while in Adelaide, we also installed another 200 amp hour EnerDrive battery. So we now have 600 amp hours of storage. So now we can stay off-grid in poor weather for a lot longer, and it gives Angie and I a lot more confidence in that respect.
So Chris made another fire, the Fire King.
I like that title. I
Fire
wouldn't call
King.
myself the Fire King, but
Oh well, that's better, I guess, method than what you used to do with DEET, that's for
with
sure.
the bug spray. Yep.
So yeah, but it's very windy and not getting very overcast. So what we'll probably do is leave the rest of the logs that we've got for tomorrow morning. Do maybe a little workout. I don't know. We'll see how the weather does.
So. Workout and training, hopefully.
That would be nice. And I guess because it's overcast, we're probably gonna make that a work day. I think that'll be a perfect day for it. Both on the laptop,
Lots to edit.
inside the camper. Yeah, catch up on some work, so that once we go back to reception, we can upload everything. So that works out pretty well.
Yeah, not too bad at all. So we'll wait for this to burn down, and then inside the camper for us. A bit boring, actually.
But it is what it is.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Alright, and we are leaving Mount Chambers Gorge quite early this morning. It's 8:30 a.m. so really early start of the day, where we've done quite a lot actually since we've woken up.
Yeah, we've done a heap.
Very productive morning. We wake up at 6 a.m. every morning now, so it's really nice. We get an hour before sunrise to have our drink in the morning, and usually to set up a fire outside as well, and actually watch the sunrise with the fire, which was really nice. There was a beautiful glow and light this morning. There was no clouds, so hopefully it's a nicer day than yesterday. We had a little training session as well. I washed my hair. Yeah,
Pancakes.
pancakes. Great start of the day. So yeah, right now we are exiting, and yeah, we're gonna try to find a cool 4-drive track around the Gammon Ranges.
Yeah.
Don't know what to expect, so we'll see how we go.
Okay, so we are in the Gammon Ranges. So we drove in a little bit earlier on just a rough 4x4 / two-wheel drive track. A lot of it was up a riverbed. It was really, really nice. And now we've just completed a hike called Bunyip Chasm. Now a bunyip is an Aboriginal mythological cryptid kind of monster beast that inhabits the swamps and the billabongs in Central Australia. Now we passed a whole bunch of kind of stagnant pools of water, so I guess that's why they've called it the Bunyip Chasm. Now the hike is no longer signposted, as someone we read died in here, which is really sad. Now it might have been from a flash flood or maybe a fall.
Yeah, so if you do come here, it's very easy to kind of like follow the riverbed. Otherwise, if you've got the app called Maps.me, it kind of like really helps towards the end, like just to kind of like follow. You can't really get lost. So you just have to be careful towards the end. There was a few, when you arrive at the chasm itself, like there's some trees.
Someone had put some old not rotten, but old fallen logs up,
Yeah.
which you can kind of climb up if you're game. But the
just be
hike doesn't
careful.
get way better, so it's
Yeah,
up to you
nice.
whether you want to do that.
I think it's definitely worth it if you come here. Like that was definitely the highlight for us of the Gammon Ranges. So now we will head back to Balder and drive off. And we're not too sure where we're going next, but yeah, we're starting to head north. So we're very excited. It's been just an amazing time the last 2 weeks in the Flinders.
So we are trying a new camera angle in the cab, so we'll see if you guys like it and if it turns out pretty good. We've got the super wide angle going on. So we are steaming along the Birdsville track now, obviously heading up to Birdsville, up towards the north. And Birdsville is actually right on the border inside Queensland. So very soon, in about 500 kilometres, we're going to be out of South Australia into Queensland. Then from there we'll be steaming into the Northern Territory. So that's pretty exciting stuff. We will probably spend a couple of days in Birdsville. We've got quite a lot to do, which we'll film. So far the Birdsville track is very pleasant. It's basically a gravel kind of dirt highway. It's easy driving. I can almost maintain my highway speeds. We're at about 80k an hour at the moment. Yeah, so highway speeds for us. So we've got a long day ahead of driving. There's basically not many landmarks, it's just flat everywhere. So yeah, we'll just steam along, probably stop for lunch, grab some more diesel. As we go up, the diesel gets more and more expensive, so we basically try and top up every time we get to a gas station. So at the moment we've got jerry can full and our auxiliary fuel tank, so we're not going to fill that one up. So we're going to keep that auxiliary fuel tank nice and topped up with our cheaper diesel and hopefully only take from our main tank until we get onto the Simpson. Now I've had a drastic change of plans with the Simpson. We're going to be taking a route that's a little bit different, which we'll discuss with you further at a later date. Last night Ange decided on that, very last minute. Basically we slept out the back of a pub, which was like a free camping spot. We had a little bit of 4G, so we did some research, so it should be good.
What just happened?
Oh man, we just got such a fright. We went over a cattle grid on a remote station on the Birdsville track, and an alarm went off really loud. We've got smoke detectors in our electrical compartment in the camper and one in our truck batteries. So we thought it might have been one of those going off, aka a fire, electrical fire. So we slammed the brakes on, ran out and checked everything. Everything looked absolutely fine. So I ran back up the road about 300 meters. And there's a remote alarm at the grid, and it must be a stock scarer. And far out, even though I knew it might go off when I saw it, it still gave me such a fright. It's so loud. And I think it must be the horses here have learned how to maybe jump the grid. So that's what it's for. We've never encountered it before in the whole of Australia. So we'll know for next time. Looks like they've had a bit of flooding through here, so we've hit some water over the road. Wow. It's actually, we're really pleasantly surprised to see water and how green it is through here.
So cool, they're following us.
They are.
They're chasing us.
Hey guys!
Oh wow, that's so cool.
Nice to meet you. This is Bowser.
Okay.
I'm Chris, this is Ange.
We're going the same speed.
Do you want to come to Birdsville?
That's probably where they leave. So cool.
They were sending us off.
One thing that is like particularly crazy with that water that you see is when you actually look on Google satellite, this entire area is looking so dry and red, so it's big contrast. It's very probably unusual. We know that there's been some floods at the start of the year, I think in January, and a lot of roads around here are still actually closed because of flooding. So that actually changed a few of our plans. Initially, Chris wanted to potentially do the Stress Lake track into the Inaminka desert area, but one road out of the Inaminka that goes back towards Birdsville is actually shut for because of flooding. So that's why we're taking this Birdsville track, which is a bit more direct. I think it's good in a way as well because we can make a bit more decent kilometers to get to the Simpson desert a bit faster. And I'm excited. We've got like lots of food as well on board now. Hopefully it will last until then. We might top up in Birdsville, but yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing that Ange made a good point to me earlier is the longer we spend before the Simpson desert, the more our yummy food stores kind of start to deplete, because Birdsville apparently does not have a great bunch of groceries, so only kind of the essentials. So I guess by steaming towards Birdsville in a couple of days, at least we can hold on to our chocolates and our yummy muesli bars.
If you are a co-pilot like me, please make sure you remember the pilot to drink water when he drives.
Ange is good with that. She's always watering me so I don't fall asleep. Yeah.
And it's got some snacks. Andy, what's your favorite?
That's meant to last me right through the Simpson, but I don't see that happening.
Nuts.
Nuts and raisins and some little pieces of chocolate. It's the goods.
Yum, yum, yum. Alright, so Chris is deflating our tires. The road at the end got a bit worse, so just better to deflate a little bit more. So I'm just making us lunch. Nothing really exciting. Unfortunately, the grocery store where we went had no wraps, like no much bread. It was like nothing. So we both had to buy this peanut wrap, but to be honest, I'm actually quite disappointed with them. They don't taste that good. But I've got a little tip for you. If you like wraps, usually the wraps that are in the Mexican section as opposed to the normal wraps and bread section, they're usually much better, and you can find them as well cheaper than those wraps that are usually quite expensive. So here you go, a little tip with Ange. And so we are right now having lunch at a roadhouse on the way to Birdsville, which is kind of like halfway on the road. But unfortunately, there is no diesel, which is not a big deal for us because we've got our auxiliary tank, but it's not ideal. We didn't want to have to transfer some diesel today, but we may have to just to be safe. It's good in that respect that we can carry a lot more, because people who actually needed diesel here, they may have to wait until the truck comes with diesel. So yeah, very happy that we can carry a lot more. And we'll just have to refill more diesel than in Birdsville. So which is not a big deal. It's another 300 kilometers. Probably won't make it today. So we'll see how much further we want to drive. Well, hopefully Balza never becomes that rusty.
We saved him from becoming that. Pretty cool.
You're welcome, Balza.
Two Canadian Fords. I don't know what that is. So anyone can tell us? And Chris was saying the engine is just next to the driver. That wouldn't be a fun drive. No, not at all. In fact, there's not even a passenger seat. It's a one-man only band. Not really roadworthy. Cool.
Alright, let's get back on the road.
We just arrived in this magical little spot by the side of the road here. Main road is just behind. So just came in on this little dirt track. Got a beautiful tree for company and the nice desert sands, which matches the sandy of Bowser. So we did about 300 kilometers today, and we have roughly 200 kilometers left to make it to Birdsville, which we'll do in the morning. I've had enough driving for today. So we're just gonna have a hot drink and then chill out. This has become fly country now, so we might even get our fly nets, our face nets out. Now there's probably going to be more flies right now because we're right on a station or near a station than there hopefully will be in the Simpson Desert, but soon we will find out. What do you think of the sand flag? Pretty cool, eh? So kind of funny. So basically on the Simpson Desert, or basically any dune country, you must use a sand flag which is 3 meters tall. Bowser is 3.6, as you guys know, and this extends up to the height of Bowser. So not only is it well over legal height, which is good, but also it'll tell us when we're going to hit a tree, which is the height of the box. So that's kind of handy as well. So it gives us a height measurement in case we run into any low-hanging river gums. It is made out of the handle, so it is telescopic, the handle of the roller that we used to wrap to coat the box in Adelaide. So yeah, reuse, recycle. There was no need to buy one of the whip ones that you see, white whip one. So instead we found our own flag online and we're just gonna stick it to that. Hopefully it'll work.
All right, and we have arrived yesterday finally to Birdsville, so we have made it to Queensland and officially say goodbye to South Australia. So it was around 200 kilometers more of driving, a lot of corrugation actually on that patch. It was pretty bad, but yeah, we made it nice and safely here in Birdsville, which was pretty quiet yesterday. We were quite surprised, so that's good to see. Like all the traffic was going towards South Australia, so hopefully the Simpson is the same. We are camping right now on the side of a river, which at the moment is all dry, but just a month ago this entire place was actually almost like flooded. I saw some photos, it was quite impressive. The roads were shut, so crazy how fast it can change. So yeah, we're definitely monitoring the weather, but there's no rain in a forecast, so that's really good news for us. So Chris has just finished the maintenance on the Mog, so I'll let him explain to you what exactly is done.
All right, so Simpson prep day here in Birdsville, which has been nice and cruisy really. So basically first up, checked the fluids and all 4 portal axles, those were fine. Checked both the diffs, the fluid and that was fine. Checked the transmission, that needed a slight top up, so we've put some more fluid into that, which is connected to the transfer case. We've also gone under the hood, topped up a little bit of engine oil. The windscreen wiper fluid needed a small top up, that's obviously pretty basic, and a tiny bit of coolant, but recently we had opened the heater core lines to heat the cab again, so some of our coolant flowed into that, so that was completely to be expected. What else did we do? We checked our Garmin InReach Explorer Plus, it has full 100% battery, and we have preemptively messaged our emergency contact so that he's got the message from us and we know that our EPIB is working basically. So we'll message him when we start the Simpson and when we finish. I've also grabbed a flathead screwdriver and tightened up all of the hose clamps over the entire truck and under the hood. They can always use a little bit of a squeeze kind of every 6 months, so everything's looking completely tickety-boo, which we're really happy about, apart from a very small leak we've found under our rear brake reservoir. That seems to have happened since the Birdsville track. Doesn't seem to be major, but I'm going to keep an eye on that, and I do have brake fluid just in case I need to top it up if the leak does get worse. So everything's looking really, really good. We've also used our compressed air to clean out the air filter, so that's nice and clean now. Doesn't really need much, I think, because the truck's quite a lot higher than most vehicles. It doesn't get a lot of dust in through the snorkel, but pays to check it anyway. And we also ran both our Runva winches all the way out, the full 20 meters, not only to keep the gears running and lubricated and make sure the electrics are working, but also just to re-spool the Runva and have it nice and tight, and so that we know if we ever need to run it all the way out on the Simpson, nothing's going to snag, it's going to work fine. So both of them have been completely taken out, taken all the way back in. They were working great, which we're all happy with. And we've also taken the lock off preemptively from the Max Tracks because they are potentially going to get a major workout in the next week. So I think we're as ready as we will ever be to tackle the Simpson solo. Basically it's up to the gods now and up to this fat beast right here. So fingers crossed we'll make it through.
Don't mind the flies everywhere around here. It's pretty bad today. Oh my god, not in my mouth. So we just wanted to wrap up this video with a very special and exciting announcement. We've recently reached 60,000 subscribers finally.
Yeah, thanks to you guys.
Which is amazing. So thank you for everyone who's recently subscribed
so much
and watching the channel. So this time we've got a special giveaway, which is an international giveaway. We've been really trying to get that. So we are partnering again with a legend from A24/7, and we've got a very exciting bundle for you. So let us show you.
Alright, so first up we've got the 106-piece Barco toolkit. Pretty much has everything for you. And we're also going with the Atlas 46 Yorktown tool roll. I am super pumped because we also today received both of these things ourselves. So I have already moved all of my tools into the Atlas 46 tool roll. It is so badass.
It was like Christmas for you.
So it's got all the pouches there, and then on the back you've got all your tools there as well, which is so neat, and you can hang it up. So it's fantastic. So I'm pumped with that. This is what I was using before.
Yeah, a nice upgrade from the cheap tools and tool bag.
Been using my old Benro tripod case as a tool bag, as well as this canvas one for all my sockets and ratchets. But the worst thing is they were getting stuck under there, and it was just impossible. So that has made it so much better.
Nice upgrade.
I've been running the cheapest tools money could buy since my first Jeep that I bought in Australia, Chinook. So they lasted well, but they were falling apart, they were snapping sometimes, they were not reliable. So I'm so happy to go with such a wicked brand, Barco. So these two amazing things can be yours. Now, the competition we're going to run, you must guess the odometer, the kilometers that Bowser has done. Huge clue, it's over 100,000 kilometers and it is under 200,000 kilometers. So we want you to guess how many Ks Bowser has done. The closest will be picked and will win both things. Doesn't matter where you are in the world, we will send these out to you. So a huge thank you for subscribing to the channel. That has helped us reach the 60,000 milestone, and we still have lofty hopes to hit 100,000 very, very soon, hopefully by the end of the year. So if you do enjoy our content, we would love it if you could please hit that subscribe button, because it does really help push us on the YouTube algorithm.
If you do not win the giveaway, or if you wish to buy any camping outdoors gear, A247 has the best high quality adventure gear that you can find on internet. So highly recommend you check out their website. We've got a special discount code which is OF20, which gives you a $20 off your purchase, and we get as well a small commission. So if you purchase anything, not only you get a discount, but as well we get a small commission. So that would be amazing if you want to check it out. Thank you very much, and good luck to everyone, and we'll see you next week. We're tackling the Simpson Desert tomorrow, so yeah, stay tuned for that. I think it's going to be a pretty
hopefully there is
coming.
hopefully there is a next video.
Oh yeah, right. All right. Oh, we'll see you then.